You know what's funny about signs? People beg for them, chase them, demand them, and when one finally shows up, they suddenly act surprised. Like they didn't ask for this moment with their whole soul. You've been bargaining in silence, haven't you? Quiet prayers at night, half belief during the day, telling yourself you just need one more push, one more confirmation, one more reason to stop hesitating. And now here you are, staring at a moment that feels heavier than coincidence, louder than chance, sharper than comfort. They always say faith is about patience, but no one talks about how terrifying it is when the waiting ends and the responsibility begins. You know what happens when excuses finally run out. People panic, not because they don't know what to do, but because now they do. Confusion is comfortable, it gives you somewhere to hide. You can sit in it, decorate it with theories, tell yourself you're still figuring things out. But when a final sign shows up, confusion doesn't survive, it burns away, and what's left is raw, exposed truth staring you straight in the face. That's when excuses start screaming, because excuses only live where uncertainty still exists. For a long time, you told yourself you were waiting for clarity. You said you just needed one more signal, one more push, one more reason to move. Funny thing is, you weren't waiting for clarity at all. You were waiting for an excuse that felt noble, something you could point to and say, see, I had no choice. But this moment doesn't let you play that game anymore. It doesn't give you room to misunderstand it. It doesn't whisper softly enough to be ignored. It shows up solid, undeniable, heavy enough to sit on your chest and make it hard to breathe. A final sign doesn't confuse you. It corners you. It removes the fog you've been hiding in and turns the lights all the way up. And suddenly, all those reasons you collected over the years start to look like what they always were: delayed, dressed up as logic, fear wearing intelligence, comfort pretending to be patience. You weren't lost. You were stalling, and now there's nowhere left to stall without admitting that's exactly what you're doing. People love to say they're overwhelmed when the truth finally shows up. Overwhelmed sounds better than exposed. Overwhelmed sounds like something happened to you instead of something you avoided. But the truth is simple and brutal. The moment you asked for a sign, you unknowingly agreed to be held accountable when it arrived. And now that it's here, you don't get to pretend you didn't see it. You don't get to say you didn't know. The final sign doesn't ask if you're ready. It just asks what you're going to do now. The pretending is off the table. Excuses thrive in maybes. Maybe later. Maybe when things calm down. Maybe when you feel more confident. Maybe when someone else changes first. But a final sign kills maybe. It turns everything into now. And now is terrifying, because now demands action without guarantees. Now doesn't promise comfort. Now doesn't offer applause. Now just hands you the truth and watches what you do with it. And here's the part people hate the most. When excuses die, responsibility takes their place. You can't blame timing anymore. You can't blame circumstances. You can't blame other people for not understanding you. The mirror is too clear. The message is too loud. And deep down, you feel it, that shift inside you where you realize the decision has already been made. Not by the world, by you. All that's left is whether you own it or keep running in circles, pretending you're still undecided. This is where people either level up or retreat into bitterness. Some will say the sign was too harsh, too sudden, too demanding. They'll complain it didn't arrive wrapped in comfort. But signs aren't meant to be gentle. They're meant to be honest, and honesty feels violent when you've been lying to yourself for a long time. This moment didn't come to destroy you. It came to strip you of the stories you used to stay small. You can feel it, can't you? That uncomfortable stillness where there's nothing left to analyze. No more questions to ask. No more angles to consider. Just a clear line between who you've been and who you keep saying you're going to become. The final sign doesn't push you across that line. It just shows you that the line has always been there, waiting for you to stop pacing back and forth and choose a side. And once you see that, once excuses lose their grip, there's no unseeing it. You can delay action, but you can't delay awareness. You can slow your steps, but you can't pretend the path disappeared. This is the moment where clarity replaces comfort, and the weight you feel isn't fear, it's ownership. Clarity doesn't arrive gently. It doesn't knock twice and wait for you to answer when you feel ready. It shows up when avoidance runs out of places to hide, when every familiar escape route collapses at the same time. That's the cruel joke about clarity. It waits until you've exhausted every excuse, every distraction, every carefully constructed delay. You think you're confused, but confusion was never the problem. Confusion was the shelter. It was the fog you wrapped yourself in so you wouldn't have to admit that deep down you already knew exactly what needed to change. Avoidance is clever. It wears productivity like a costume. It convinces you that staying busy is the same as moving forward. It tells you that overthinking is the same as being careful. And for a while, it works. You feel safe there, suspended between decision and denial. But clarity doesn't respect comfort. It waits until avoidance gets tired, until it can't hold the weight anymore. And then it snaps. Suddenly, the question you've been dodging doesn't feel complex at all. It feels obvious, embarrassingly obvious. You feel it when the noise inside your head goes quiet for the first time. No arguments, no debates, no endless pros, cons. Just a single, steady awareness sitting in your chest, heavy and undeniable. That's clarity. Not loud, not dramatic, just firm. And the reason it scares you isn't because it's confusing, it's because it's simple. Simple enough that you can't intellectualize your way out of it anymore. Simple enough that any delay from this point forward becomes a decision in itself. People love to romanticize uncertainty. It sounds thoughtful, deep, philosophical. But most uncertainty is just fear wearing a smarter outfit. It's hesitation pretending to be wisdom. And once clarity arrives, that disguise falls apart. You see how many times you said, "I'm not sure yet," when what you really meant was, "I'm scared of what happens if I choose." Avoidance gives you plausible deniability. Clarity takes it away. And when avoidance runs out, it doesn't explode. It dissolves. One moment you're convincing yourself you still need time, and the next moment you realize time was never the issue. Courage was. Accountability was. The willingness to disappoint someone, including the version of yourself that's grown comfortable in the waiting. Clarity doesn't ask you to feel confident. It asks you to be honest. Honest about what you want. Honest about what's draining you. Honest about what you've outgrown, but keep revisiting because it's familiar. That's why clarity feels heavy, not because it adds pressure, but because it removes excuses. You can't say you didn't know anymore. You can't say you're still figuring it out. The fog lifts, and suddenly you see the road exactly as it is. No mystery, no magic, just direction. And direction is dangerous for someone who's been surviving on avoidance, because direction demands movement. You notice it in your body before your mind catches up. That tightness in your chest, that quiet urgency, that sense that something has expired. Avoidance thrives on endless options. Clarity narrows everything down to one uncomfortable truth. This can't continue the way it has. And whether you act on it or not, you've crossed a line just by seeing it. You can't go back to pretending the confusion was real. People often say they're afraid of making the wrong choice, but what they're really afraid of is losing the ability to avoid choosing at all, because as long as you're still thinking, you're not responsible yet. But clarity arrives when that excuse collapses. When you realize that not choosing is choosing, that staying still is an action, that waiting is a vote for the status quo. Avoidance runs on hope without commitment. Clarity replaces it with responsibility without comfort. It doesn't guarantee success. It doesn't promise relief. It just tells you the truth and steps back to watch what you do next. And that's the part that feels almost cruel, because the moment clarity arrives, the weight shifts from the universe to you. You asked for direction. You asked for understanding. You asked for a sign. And what you got wasn't fireworks or thunder, but the quiet collapse of every excuse you've been using to delay your own life. Avoidance ran out. Clarity took its place. And now there's nowhere left to hide except inaction or denial. And denial doesn't work the same once you've seen clearly fear is loud. It shakes you, rattles your thoughts, makes a mess so dramatic you almost respect it. Fear screams until you either run or freeze, and at least when fear is in the room, you know what you're dealing with. But the last warning, that thing is quiet. It doesn't shout. It doesn't chase. It just sits there, calm and patient, like it already knows how this ends. And that's why it feels heavier than fear. Fear wants your attention. The last warning already has your attention. It has your history. It has your patterns memorized. You felt fear before. Everyone has. Fear before trying something new. Fear before losing someone. Fear before failing in public. Fear before admitting the truth. But fear always comes with adrenaline, with excuses, with a sense of chaos you can blame. The last warning doesn't give you that luxury. It doesn't rush your heartbeat. It slows it down. It presses on you in a way that makes everything feel still, like the world is holding its breath and watching to see if you finally understand what's happening. This is the moment people don't talk about. The moment after fear gets tired, after the threats stop working, after the same consequences repeat themselves enough times that they stop feeling like accidents. The last warning shows up when life has already tried being loud with you, when pain already knocked, when discomfort already escalated, and instead of another explosion, you get silence, a pause, a look. That's when it sinks in that this isn't about being scared anymore. This is about being done. Fear says, what if? The last warning says, this is it. Fear keeps the future blurry. The last warning sharpens it. You suddenly see exactly where this road leads if you don't change anything. No imagination required. No exaggeration. Just a clear, unromantic picture of consequences you've already tasted enough times to recognize. That's why it feels so heavy. There's no mystery left to hide behind. You notice it in the way you stop arguing with yourself. The inner debates fade. The justifications sound weak, even to you. You don't feel panicked. You feel exposed. Like something inside you finally got tired of pretending this situation is normal. The last warning doesn't feel dangerous. It feels final. And finality is terrifying in a way fear could never compete with. People think warnings are supposed to be dramatic. Sirens, explosions, emotional breakdowns. But the real last warning is subtle. It's the moment when repeating the same mistake starts to feel embarrassing instead of painful. When you catch yourself about to do the same thing again and something inside you says you already know how this ends. That's heavier than fear because fear still allows hope without change. The last warning demands change without hope. This is where denial usually makes its last stand. It tells you you're overthinking, that you can handle it a little longer, that it's not that serious yet, but the weight doesn't lift. It stays, because the warning isn't coming from outside anymore. It's coming from inside, from the part of you that's watched. You survive things you should have outgrown by now, from the part that's tired of cleaning up the same mess in different disguises. Fear makes you feel weak. The last warning makes you feel responsible. And responsibility is heavier than fear because you can't fight it or run from it. You will either carry it or it crushes you. There's no villain to blame, no sudden disaster to point at, just a quiet understanding that if this continues, it will be because you allowed it to. And that realization sits on your chest like gravity. The last warning doesn't beg you, it doesn't threaten you. It just removes your ability to lie to yourself comfortably. You can still ignore it, sure, but it won't feel innocent anymore. Every step forward without change will feel intentional. Every delay will feel like a choice instead of confusion. And that's the unbearable part. Fear lets you feel like a victim. The last warning hands you the mirror. This is the moment where people either evolve or harden. Some turn bitter, blaming the world for being unfair. Others finally move, not because they're brave, but because staying the same has become unbearable. The last warning isn't about danger, it's about dignity, about how much longer you're willing to watch yourself repeat a life you already know you're meant to leave behind. You don't feel like screaming. You don't feel like running. You feel still, heavy, awake, like something irreversible just clicked into place. Fear would have been easier. Fear would have given you noise, chaos, excuses. But this is quiet understanding. And once it settles in, It doesn't leave. It waits, patient, certain. Watching what you do now that you know this is the last time you'll be warned. Silence is comfortable when nothing is expected of you. It wraps around you like a thick curtain, dulls the noise, softens the pressure. You can sit inside it and pretend that things are still undecided, that nothing has been demanded yet. Silence lets you observe without committing, exist without choosing, survive without standing for anything. But the moment responsibility shows up, that silence cracks, not loudly, not dramatically. It fractures from the inside, like glass under pressure, and suddenly, every quiet thought you were hiding behind starts making noise. Responsibility doesn't announce itself with chaos. It arrives with clarity, and clarity is noisy in its own way. It forces questions you can't mute anymore. What are you doing? Why are you still here? How long are you going to pretend this isn't yours to carry? Silence can't survive those questions. It was built on avoidance, on distance, on the illusion that time would somehow make choices for you. Responsibility walks in and says time is done working for free. People confuse silence with peace. That's the trick. Silence feels calm, controlled, mature. It makes you feel like you're being patient, thoughtful, strategic. But most silence is just fear holding its breath. Fear of being seen. Fear of being blamed. Fear of finding out you're capable of more than you've been willing to admit. Responsibility doesn't let fear hide quietly. It drags it into the light, and suddenly your inner world gets loud. You hear it when you can't sleep the same way anymore, when distractions stop working, when the jokes don't land, even when no one else is around. The silence that once protected you starts to suffocate you, because now you know. You know something is required of you, not later, not someday, now. And once you know that, silence stops being neutral. It becomes a decision. And decisions echo. Responsibility doesn't care. If you feel ready, it doesn't negotiate with comfort. It doesn't wait for confidence to show up. It simply hands you the weight and watches how you adjust your posture. That's when the internal noise begins. Regret starts talking. Potential clears its throat. All the promises you made to yourself years ago start asking why they were abandoned. Silence can't hold all that. It breaks under the sound of your own awareness. People love quiet lives until they realize quiet doesn't mean fulfilled. It just means unchallenged. Responsibility challenges you by removing the mute button. Suddenly your thoughts have volume. Your excuses sound thin. Your reasons feel recycled. You notice patterns you used to ignore. You see how often you chose easy over honest. And every realization adds another layer of noise to a mind that used to feel so calm when it didn't have to answer to itself. This is where many people run back to noise on purpose. They drown responsibility in chaos. Busy schedules, loud opinions, constant movement. Anything to avoid the specific sound of accountability. Because responsibility isn't just loud, it's precise. It points directly at you, not society, not fate, not circumstances, you. And that kind of noise is unbearable if you've spent years hiding in silence. When responsibility begins, even other people start sounding different. Advice hits harder. Criticism sticks longer. Compliments feel heavier. Because now everything feels connected to what you do next. Silence used to let things pass through you. Responsibility makes everything land. Every word, every moment, every missed opportunity. The world hasn't gotten louder. You've just stopped insulating yourself from it. There's a strange honesty in this break. Silence breaking means denial is losing. It means you're waking up to the idea that your life isn't something happening to you anymore. It's something responding to you. And response creates sound. Choices create consequences. Awareness creates pressure. The quiet you miss wasn't peace. It was distance from your own power. You don't get that silence back once responsibility starts. You can try to ignore it, sure. You can pretend you didn't hear the crack, but it's already broken. The noise will follow you into every still moment, into every pause, into every decision you delay. Because responsibility doesn't shout once and leave. It keeps whispering, and whispers are harder to escape than screams. This is the point where people either mature or retreat. Maturity doesn't mean the noise stops. It means you stop fighting it. You learn to stand in it without flinching, to let responsibility speak without panicking, to accept that the silence you lost was never meant to last. It was just a waiting room. And now, your name has been called, and everything inside you is loud because it finally has something real to answer to, and pretend you don't hear it anymore would be the loudest lie of all. Comfort has an expiration date, but nobody reads the label. It feels so harmless while it's working, like a soft chair you sink into after telling yourself you deserve the rest. Comfort doesn't rush you. It doesn't demand explanations. It nods along while you repeat the same days, the same habits, the same excuses. And it whispers that stability is the same thing as safety. That's how it gets you. It never attacks. It slowly convinces you that this is all there is, and that wanting more is greedy, unrealistic, dangerous. Comfort doesn't disappear all at once. It spoils quietly. One day the routine that felt secure starts to feel dull. The silence you once enjoyed starts to itch. The habits that protected you begin to cage you. You still call it comfort, but it doesn't feel comforting anymore. It feels heavy, stale, like air that's been breathed too many times. That's when people panic, because they don't realize comfort was never meant to last. It was meant to hold you temporarily, not house you permanently. Purpose doesn't show up while comfort is still in control. Purpose waits. It watches how long you're willing to stay numb. It knows you won't listen while everything feels fine. Purpose only speaks when comfort stops working, when the familiar starts to feel wrong, when the easy life begins to feel like a betrayal of something inside you that hasn't died yet. That discomfort you're trying to escape isn't punishment. It's an eviction notice. People love comfort because it doesn't ask questions. Purpose asks too many. Why are you still here? Why are you avoiding this? Why do you keep choosing relief over meaning? Comfort lets you forget those questions exist. Purpose drags them back into the room and makes them sit with you. And the cruel part is, you don't get to skip straight to purpose. You have to sit through the discomfort first. You have to feel the expiration. That's why people cling to comfort even when it hurts them. At least it's familiar pain. At least it's predictable. Purpose is unknown. Purpose threatens identity. Purpose doesn't promise happiness. It promises significance, and significance costs something. Comfort is cheap. It takes your potential as payment and calls it peace. You can tell comfort is expiring when distractions stop working, when scrolling feels empty, when jokes don't land, when sleep doesn't refresh you, when success without meaning tastes bland. That's not laziness. That's not depression. That's awareness breaking through the sedation. That's the moment comfort loses its grip, and you start feeling the hunger it was hiding. Purpose doesn't arrive with fireworks. It arrives with discomfort and a question mark. It arrives when you're tired of being entertained by your own life, when you realize you've been living on pause, waiting for motivation to appear instead of realizing discomfort is the invitation. Purpose doesn't show up to rescue you. It shows up to challenge you. It doesn't soothe. It sharpens. People say they want purpose, but what they really want is comfort with meaning attached. They want fulfillment without friction. They want destiny without sacrifice. That's not how it works. Purpose only becomes visible after comfort expires. After you stop asking how to stay safe and start asking what's worth the risk. That's when the fog lifts. Not because life gets easier, but because it finally gets honest. Comfort expiring feels like loss at first. You grieve it. You miss how easy it was not to care deeply, not to try fully, not to risk failure publicly. But what you're really mourning is the version of yourself that didn't have to grow. And growth always feels like danger to something that's been comfortable for too long. Purpose steps in when you stop trying to preserve who you were. When you accept that the old routine can't come with you. When you finally admit that staying comfortable is costing you more than leaving ever could. That's when direction appears, not as certainty, but as urgency. Not as answers, but as movement. Comfort tells you to sit down. Purpose tells you to stand up even when your legs shake. Comfort tells you to wait. Purpose tells you time has already been wasted. Comfort tells you you're fine. Purpose tells you you're capable of more, and that truth burns before it heals. If your comfort feels uncomfortable lately, that's not failure. That's timing. That's the moment before purpose enters. The moment when the old life stops fitting and the new one hasn't revealed itself yet. That space feels cruel, but it's honest. And once you recognize that comfort has expired, you can stop trying to revive it and start listening to what the discomfort has been trying to say all along. Funny thing about life, just when you think you've got it all figured out, just when you're finally standing on solid ground, boom. The rug gets pulled right out from under you. Everything starts falling apart. Chaos, confusion. Nothing makes sense anymore. And you start wondering, why now? Why me? What did I do wrong? Because that's how people think, isn't it? They see struggle, they see setbacks, and they assume it means something's gone wrong. But what if it means something's about to go right? People like to think that when good things are coming, life is gonna feel nice and easy. They expect the skies to clear, the roads to open, and everything to just fall into place. But that's not how it works, is it? No. Right before something big happens, everything starts falling apart. It's almost funny how people miss the signs. They think disaster means the dream is over, when really, it just means it's close. You ever notice how before a building goes up, something else has to come down? They love watching the shiny new tower rise into the sky, but they never pay attention to the demolition that came before it. Because that part, it's messy, it's loud, it's chaos, dust and rubble everywhere, things crashing down, people wondering, what's going on? This used to be something solid, something real. But that's the trick. You can't build something new on top of something old. No. First, you have to tear it down. But when it happens in their own lives, people don't like that. They panic. They think, why is everything going wrong? But maybe, just maybe, it's not going wrong. Maybe it's making space. You ever watch a storm roll in? It's beautiful in a way. The sky turns dark, the wind picks up, and everything starts to shake. And people, they run for cover. They hide, they complain, they wish it would just stop. But the storm isn't here to hurt them. It's here to clear the air. It's here to wash away the old, to make things fresh again. But people don't see that. They just see the mess, the fear, the uncertainty. They don't realize that after the storm, that's when everything comes alive. You ever see someone training for a fight? They get beaten down. They get bruised, knocked around, pushed past their limits. And right before the big match, that's when they suffer the most. That's when the training gets the hardest. When their body feels like it's about to break, and in that moment they have a choice. They can quit, say, this is too much, I can't take it, or they can push through. And the ones who do, they step into that ring stronger than ever. But the ones who walk away, they never realize how close they were. You ever see how seeds grow? It's fascinating. People love the flowers, the trees, the big beautiful things that stretch toward the sky. But the seed, the seed has to be buried first, shoved down into the dirt, trapped in the darkness, surrounded by pressure. And people, oh, if they were the seed, they'd scream, "This isn't fair. Why am I stuck here? Why is everything caving in on me?" But they don't understand. This isn't the end. It's the beginning, because the deeper the seed goes, the stronger the roots grow. And the stronger the roots, the higher it can rise. You ever noticed how before people hit their biggest breakthroughs, they go through their worst breakdowns? It's almost like life is testing them, pushing them, making sure they're ready. Because here's the thing, if everything stayed the same, if everything was easy, people wouldn't move. They wouldn't change. They wouldn't become what they're supposed to be. So life? Oh, life shakes things up. It pulls the rug. It makes everything uncomfortable. Not to break them, but to wake them up. But most people? Oh, most people don't see it that way. They see things falling apart and think, this must be a sign that I should give up. But what if, oh, what if it's a sign that they should keep going? You ever watch how a bow works? Oh, it's brilliant. People love to see the arrow fly, love to see it hit the target. But what they don't notice? Oh, the arrow has to be pulled back first. Stretched, strained, held under tension. And if it could think, oh, it would probably hate that. It would think, why am I going backward? I thought I was supposed to move forward, but the further it's pulled back, oh, the faster it flies, the harder it hits. But most people, oh, they feel the pullback and they panic. They think, I'm moving in the wrong direction, I must be failing. But they don't realize the pull back isn't the end, it's just the setup. People love comfort. Ooh, they crave it. They want things to be smooth, easy, predictable. No surprises, no setbacks, no pressure. But here's the thing. Nothing real grows in comfort. Nothing strong comes from easy. You ever see how diamonds are made? Oh, it's not magic, it's pressure, heat, intensity. That's what turns a piece of coal into something unbreakable. But people, oh, the second life starts pressing down on them, the second things start getting a little too hard, they start looking for a way out. They don't realize that the pressure isn't punishment, it's preparation. You ever watch someone try to lift weights for the first time? Oh, it's hilarious. They step up, grab the bar, and struggle. Their arms shake, their face turns red, and after one rep, oh, they're done. Tired, sore. And you know what they say? This is too much. I can't do it. But what happens if they keep going? If they push through the soreness, if they train every day, oh, then something happens. The weight that once crushed them, oh, now they lift it with ease, not because the weight got lighter, but because they got stronger. That's how it works, isn't it? The weight doesn't change, you do, but people don't see that. The second life gets heavy, the second the pressure starts building, they think, this isn't fair, this is too hard. They don't see that the struggle is the point. You ever watch a blacksmith work? Oh, it's fascinating. They take this dull, lifeless chunk of metal, shove it into the fire, and just when it's burning, glowing, screaming from the heat, what do? Oh, they pull it out and beat it with a hammer. Again and again, over and over. Because that's the only way to shape it into something strong, something sharp, something useful. But if that metal could feel, oh, it would hate the process. It would beg for the fire to stop, for the hammer to just leave it alone. But without the fire, without the pressure, without the strikes, oh, it stays weak, it stays nothing, and people, oh, they're just the same. The second life starts heating up, the second they feel the hammer coming down, they start screaming, why is this happening to me? Why does it have to be this hard? But they don't see what's really happening. They're being shaped. You ever see a caterpillar in a cocoon? Oh, it's ugly. People love butterflies, love the wings, love the colors. But what they don't realize, oh, before it flies, it struggles. Inside that cocoon, it's trapped, it's stuck. It's breaking down into something completely new. And right before it comes out, oh, that's when the fight is the hardest. It has to push, claw, force its way through. And people, oh, they love to watch, love to say, wow, what a beautiful transformation. But if they saw what was happening inside, oh, they wouldn't call it beautiful. They'd call it painful. They'd call it cruel. But without the struggle, without the fight, the wings don't get strong. And people, oh, they don't like that part. They want the wings without the cocoon. They want the strength without the struggle. They want the victory without the battle. But that's not how it works, is it? You ever watch how a storm builds? Oh, the wind picks up, the clouds roll in, and suddenly, boom. Rain, thunder, lightning. And people? Oh, they run for cover. They hide, they complain, they say, why now? Why here? But after the storm, oh, the air is clear, the dust settles, the world feels new. Because storms don't come to destroy, they come to reset. But people, oh, they see the pressure building in their lives, they feel the weight of it, and they think, this is too much. I can't handle this. But what if, oh, what if the pressure isn't meant to break them? What if it's meant to prepare them? You ever see how a slingshot works? Oh, people love watching the rock fly through the air, love seeing it hit its mark, but before it launches, oh, it has to be pulled back, stretched to its limit. And if it could talk, oh, it would probably be screaming, why am I going backward? Why does this feel like a setback? But the second it's released, oh, boom, it flies forward faster than it ever could have on its own. That's the trick, isn't it? The pullback isn't the problem. It's the setup. It's the launch. But most people, oh, they feel themselves being pulled back, feel the weight pressing down, and they think, this is it. This is where it all ends. But they don't see it for what it really is. The pressure isn't pushing them down. It's just pulling them back, getting them ready to fly. You ever notice how the biggest opportunities in life never come gift-wrapped? Oh no. They don't show up with a big shiny bow, a smile, and a polite little note that says, "Here you go, just what you wanted." No, no, no. They show up disguised as problems, wrapped in frustration, covered in difficulty, and people, oh, they take one look at it and say, "No thanks, I don't want this," because they don't see it for what it really is. They don't realize that the thing making them struggle, the thing making them doubt, the thing making them want to quit, oh, that's the thing leading them exactly where they're supposed to be. You ever hear the story of the guy who found a locked treasure chest? Oh, he was thrilled, thought he'd hit the jackpot, but then, then he saw the lock, and suddenly he wasn't so excited anymore. He tried to open it, pulled and yanked, but nothing worked. So you know what he did? He walked away, left it sitting there, never realizing that the key was just a few feet away, buried under the dirt. If he had just dug a little deeper, searched a little harder, pushed a little further, he would have found it. But that's how people are, isn't it? The moment something looks too hard, too complicated, too impossible, they turn around and leave. They don't realize that the bigger the struggle, the bigger the reward. That the harder it is, the more it's worth it. You ever watch a magician? Oh, it's fascinating. People love the trick, love the surprise, but what they don't see, they don't see the setup, the misdirection. The part where their own mind is being fooled. They think they're seeing one thing, but really, something else is happening right in front of them. That's what life does, doesn't it? It makes things look like they're falling apart, makes it seem like you're failing, like you're losing everything. When really, it's just setting you up for the real trick. But most people, they don't have the patience to wait for the reveal. They get scared and run before the show is over. You ever notice how the doors that lead to the biggest changes in life don't open with a simple push? No, they stick. They slam. They make you think, maybe I'm not supposed to go through this one. And people, they give up too fast. They knock once, maybe twice, and when it doesn't swing open all nice and easy, they say, "Guess it wasn't meant to be." But maybe it's not about the door letting you in. Maybe it's about whether or not you're willing to break it down. You ever see a maze? People love watching someone else try to figure it out. But when they're in one, suddenly it's not so fun. They hit a dead end and panic, think, "This isn't right, I must be lost." But what they don't realize, dead ends aren't mistakes. They are directions. They tell you where not to go so you can get where you need to be. But people, they take one wrong turn and think, that's it, and stuck forever. They don't understand that the only way to lose is to stop moving. You ever notice how right before something big happens, life throws everything at you at once? Like the universe is saying, let's see what you're really made of. Everything gets harder. People turn against you. Plans fall apart. And you start wondering if you should even keep going. You think maybe this isn't for me. Maybe I was wrong. But what if? What if? That's exactly how it's supposed to feel. What if the struggle isn't proof that you're on the wrong path? What if it's proof that you're this close to something huge? But most people, they never get to see what's waiting on the other side because they walk away before they even get a chance to open the door. People think they know how life works. They have it all figured out, don't they? They believe if they do the right things, say the right words, follow the right rules, everything will fall neatly into place, like some perfect little puzzle. But that's not how the game works, is it? No, no, no. Life doesn't reward people before testing them. It doesn't give before it takes. It doesn't open doors without first slamming a few in your face, just to see if you've got the nerve to keep knocking. You ever notice how right before people reach something big, life starts throwing everything at them? Not just one or two little problems. Oh no, that would be too easy. It throws everything, like it's saying, let's see if you can handle this. And most people, they break. They start thinking, maybe I'm not supposed to do this. Maybe this is a sign to give up. But what if? What if? It's not a sign to quit. What if it's a sign that you're getting close? What if life is just making sure you're ready before it hands you the reward? You ever watch someone try to open a locked door? At first they knock, polite, patient. Then they try the handle, jiggle it a little. But the second it doesn't budge, the panic sets in. Guess I'm not supposed to go this way, they tell themselves, and they turn around. But what if, what if the lock wasn't there to stop them? What if it was there to see how bad they really wanted it? What if all they had to do was knock a little louder, push a little harder, kick the damn thing down? But no, no, no. Most people, they see the lock and walk away, never knowing that the key was in their pocket the whole time. You ever see how an archer prepares before they fire an arrow? It's fascinating. They pull the string back, stretch it tight, hold it steady, and if that arrow could feel, it would think, why am I being pulled backward? I thought I was supposed to go forward. But the archer, they know the truth. The more tension, the further it flies. The more pressure, the harder it hits. But people, they feel life pulling them back, stretching them to their limits, and they think, this isn't fair. I'm supposed to be moving forward. They don't realize that the tension, the pullback, the pressure, it's all just building up power to launch them further than they ever imagined. You ever watch a storm roll in? People hate it. They see the dark clouds, hear the thunder, feel the wind pick up, and suddenly panic. They run for cover, hide inside, wait for it to pass. But they never stop to think about what the storm is doing. It's not here to destroy, it's here to clear the way, to shake things up, to wash away what doesn't belong. But people, they don't see that. All they see is the chaos, the fear, the discomfort. They don't realize that after the storm, that's when everything is fresh. That's when everything grows. But most people, they don't stick around long enough to see that part. You ever see how gold is purified? Oh, it's brutal. You take this raw, dirty piece of metal, throw it into the fire and let it burn. The heat melts it down, pulls all the impurities to the surface. And people, oh, they love the gold, love the shine, love the worth of it. But what they don't realize, oh, it wasn't always like that. It had to go through the flames first. It had to suffer before it became something valuable. But people, oh, they don't want the fire. They don't want the struggle. They want the reward without the process. They want the shine without the heat. But that's not how it works, is it? The flames aren't there to destroy. They're there to refine. You ever notice how the biggest moments in life don't come easy? They don't arrive with a friendly little tap on the shoulder. No, no, no. They come in disguise. They come wrapped in hardship, covered in struggle, hidden behind obstacles. And people, oh, they get tired, they get frustrated, they start thinking, maybe this isn't for me, maybe I should just give up. But what if, oh, what if the difficulty isn't a barrier? What if it's a test, a final challenge before the breakthrough? Because life, oh, life doesn't just hand out rewards. It makes sure you deserve them first. And that, oh, that's where most people fail. Because they quit before they even realize how close they were. You ever notice how people want things to happen now? Oh, they don't like waiting. They don't like patience. No, no, no. They want instant results. Immediate rewards. If they pray, they want an answer today. If they work, they want success tomorrow. If they struggle, oh, they want it over before it even starts. But life, oh, life doesn't care what people want. It moves at its own pace. Slow, unpredictable, messy. And people, oh, they can't stand that. They think, if it's not happening fast, maybe it's not happening at all. But what if? Oh, what if? The waiting isn't a delay. What if it's part of the plan? You ever plant a seed? Oh, people love the idea of growth, love the thought of something big coming. But the second they put that little seed in the dirt, oh, they start getting impatient. They stare at the ground, waiting for it to do something. And when nothing happens, oh, they start doubting. They think, maybe I planted it wrong. Maybe it's not working. But what they don't see, oh, they don't see what's happening underneath. They don't see the roots growing, the foundation forming, the life taking shape, and because they can't see it, they assume it's not happening. But that's not how it works, is it? Just because you can't see the progress doesn't mean it's not there. You ever see how a sculptor works? Oh, it's brutal. They take a block of stone, something big, something solid, and start chipping away. Strike after strike, piece after piece, breaking it down. And if you only saw the first few steps, oh, you'd think they were destroying it. It looks like nothing but a mess. Just broken rock, dust, chaos. But the sculptor, oh, they see something else. They see what's inside, waiting to come out. They know every single strike has a purpose. But people, oh, they don't like the strikes. They don't like the pressure. The second life starts breaking away their comfort, their plans, their little illusions of control, oh, they panic. They think, this isn't right, this isn't fair. They don't see that the breaking isn't random, it's necessary. It's shaping them into something they were always meant to be. You ever hear about how a lion learns to hunt? Oh, it's not born a killer. It's not born knowing how to chase, how to pounce, how to survive. No. It has to fail first. It has to miss the prey, make mistakes, go hungry, and that hunger, oh, it's important. It makes the lion desperate. It makes it faster, smarter, stronger. And people, oh, they don't like that part. The hunger, the struggle, the feeling of not having enough. The second they experience a little lack, a little difficulty, they start whining. They start saying, why me? Why is this happening? But they don't see what's really going on. They don't see that the hunger isn't there to hurt them. It's there to train them. You ever see how metal is tested? Oh, it's fascinating. You take a piece of steel, put it under pressure, stretch it, bend it, see how much it can take before it snaps. And if it breaks, oh, that means it was weak to begin with. But if it holds, if it endures, oh, that's how you know it's strong. And people, oh, they're no different. They go through pain, stress, setbacks, and they start thinking this is too much. I can't do this. But what if? Oh, what if? The pressure isn't there to break them. What if it's there to prove them, to show what they're really made of? But most people, oh, they run the second it gets hard. They never even find out how strong they really were. You ever notice how right before something big happens, life gets real quiet? Oh, people don't like that part. They start doubting, start questioning, start thinking maybe nothing is happening at all. But what they don't realize, oh, that's the calm before the storm. That's life lining things up, moving pieces into place, preparing them for what's next. But because they can't see it, they assume it's not happening. And they walk away. They quit, never realizing that the silence wasn't a sign to stop. It was a sign to get ready. You ever notice how people want to see proof before they believe something big is coming? Oh, they need signs, guarantees, a little preview of what's ahead. They want to be sure before they commit. But life? Oh, life doesn't work like that. No. It doesn't show you what's coming. It just moves silently, subtly. And if you're not paying attention, if you're too busy looking for fireworks, you'll miss it. You ever watch a storm roll in? Oh, it doesn't start with thunder. It doesn't start with lightning. No. It starts with a little wind, a little shift in the air. The sky turns just a shade darker. And if you know what to look for, oh, you can feel it coming long before it arrives. But most people, oh, they don't notice until the rain's already pouring. They wait until they're soaking wet, caught in the chaos, wondering, where did this come from? But the signs, oh, they were always there. They just weren't looking. You ever see how an earthquake starts? Oh, it's quiet. The ground doesn't just explode out of nowhere. No, no, no. First there's a little tremor, just a hint of movement, a tiny vibration deep beneath the surface, and people, oh, they ignore it. They don't feel it. They don't care. Until suddenly, boom, everything starts shaking. Everything changes, and they're caught off guard, thinking, I never saw this coming. But that's the trick. The biggest shifts, the ones that change everything, oh, they never announce themselves. You ever see how a snake sheds its skin? Oh, it's uncomfortable. It doesn't just slip out of the old one all nice and easy. No, 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 it rubs against rough surfaces, pushes, struggles, breaks itself free. And if you didn't know better, oh, you'd think it was suffering. But it's not. It's growing. It's becoming. And people, oh, they don't like that part. They want growth to be clean, simple, pretty. They don't want to struggle. They don't want to let go of the old, even when it's too small for them, even when it's holding them back. They fight for their comfort, not realizing that the pain is the process. The discomfort, oh, it's the proof that something big is about to happen. You ever watch a caterpillar before it turns into a butterfly? Oh, it's a funny little thing, crawling, inching along, small, slow, and then one day it just stops. It wraps itself up, disappears. And if you didn't know better, oh, you'd think it died. You'd think, that's it, it's over. But what's really happening? Oh, it's transforming, changing, becoming something new. But people, oh, they don't like that phase. The waiting, the uncertainty, the feeling of being stuck. The second life puts them in a quiet place, the second things stop moving, they start panicking. They think maybe this is the end, maybe nothing is happening. They don't realize they're in the middle of the process, that the silence isn't a stop, it's a setup. You ever notice how before something big happens, everything starts falling apart? Oh, it's wild. Just when you think you're getting close, boom, obstacles. People turn against you, plans collapse. Everything that was once solid starts to feel shaky. And people, oh, they take that as a sign. They think maybe I should quit. Maybe this isn't meant for me. But what if? Oh, what if it's the opposite? What if the chaos isn't a stop sign, but a green light? What if it's not life rejecting you, but preparing you? What if things fall apart before something big happens because the old has to be destroyed before the new can arrive? But most people, oh, they don't stick around long enough to find out. They see the mess and run, never knowing they were this close to something they never even imagined.